Gerald, 508, how are you? It's hard to believe. This is my last lecture. This has been a really special class, and Julia and I are extremely grateful, and we're going to be talking about gratitude and happiness today. And I hope you got a chance to see Julia's discussion about being grateful. If not, I will redirect you to the video that she did from UCSD Morris Cancer Research Center. And yeah, you guys have done an amazing job. And we're in the process of grading your marketing pamphlets. We're blown away. I mean, these pamphlets are so professional and so ready to be put to use. And these are programs that are being used by health centers, excuse me, worldwide, by insurance companies, okay? Because they're now coming to the realization that if we can help people change lifestyle, that it's far more financially profitable by the insurance companies versus having to prescribe medications for people that are really unhealthy. All right, so you guys are right there front line, and you could use the materials you guys created like immediately. So it's really, really mind blowing. What are we going to do here? I'm going to scroll down, and I'm going to remind you that we do have the exam coming up next Monday on the 29th. Please do email Julia. She's the one that coordinates everything in the background. Email her again if you are taking the exam at a different time. Okay. Now, this is a no stress express. Okay. You need to just relax into this and not worry about this. Sure, study, but put on some headphones or listen to some music when you're studying. Okay. In fact, I encourage you to listen to music right up to when you're taking the exam, and have background music when you are taking the exam, because we have all learned what music does to stress levels, and we've also learned what music does to cognitive levels. It dramatically improves it, and if you can lower your stress, you're going to do much, much better on the exam anyways, okay? You have to believe in yourself. We do, so do not worry about it, okay? All right, so I'm going to go ahead and launch directly into the readings right here, okay? And as we scroll down right here, again, we are looking at the mind-body connection, happiness, and gratitude. Alrighty. Now, I'll give you a little background statement about the key to happiness from my perspective and what I figured out on my own. So it's my wisdom about me. Okay. And as Sapolsky indicated, I'm part of the professional world that he is part of. And I had Parkinson's disease research laboratory for, almost 26 years, I guess it was. And I was a postdoc before that at UCLA for 5 years. And then I was a graduate student in Texas for 5 years. So it was a very long haul, very competitive world. And yes, I feel extreme pride in the probably 70 research articles that I've written, all the presentations I gave around the world. I also have pride in that I've contributed to the science that helps in the understanding of why exercise improves the outcome of Parkinson's patients. And so it's all good. It's all good. Okay. And but one thing about my career track is, as Sapolsky indicated, there's lots of egos that I have to contend with, whether it's in the Davis School, whether it's at USC, whether it's all the scientists worldwide that were neuroscientists. And egos can be very selfish. And so many people would look at me and say, well, you're not like what I would expect, say, out of a scientist, and you're not devoted enough. And being judged in that way, I found extremely frustrating. And I've talked to many student groups, and that's somebody projecting onto you how they live their lives, justifying their own existence and saying, if you are a good person, if you are a true scientist, you would live your life just like me. And I had so many people tell me, oh, you need to be in the lab 6, 7 days a week, 10, 15 hours a day. And I did that when I had to do it, but it was not a healthy lifestyle. And so my suggestion to you is, do not let people project onto you their worldview. There are many, many different trajectories. There are many different pathways to success and happiness. Okay, and what's happening is my screen keeps changing over to a picture of Julia, which is awesome. So yeah, you live life your own way. You go your own pathway, and that's I think really solid evidence. My mom, who died 3 years ago, 95 years of age. This is a saying that is from the United States. She used to always say, and she used to always tell me, pardon my French, and then here would come a little cuss word. And so here I would say, pardon my French, okay? But you need to shed the assholes, okay? You need to support yourself and surround yourself with people who appreciate what it is that you bring to the world, okay? That don't judge you, that are unconditional in their support and love. That's what you need to do. Okay, awesome. All right, so we're going to get into here. And now these are some really cool short articles, all right? So this is a quick article, and what I liked about it is it gives you an idea of how to run a study about gratitude and to look at its effects on overall well-being in terms of both mental and physical health. So I'm going to go ahead and open this PDF file, and here is the article. And they begin, here's your abstract, just like you guys did, which is awesome. And they have a quick definition, their definition of gratitude, and they admit that there are multiple definitions that are out there depending on the kind of study that you're doing. Okay, it is, in their words, an appreciation what is valuable and meaningful to oneself. Okay, that's what they're defining as gratitude, a general state of thankfulness and or appreciation. Okay, I'm going to talk a little bit later on about Dalai Lama's view of this, and he has a really great perspective on that. Okay, so we go through the abstract, a quick introduction as to why this article is written. Again, they get into definitions from a couple of different articles, and that's what this is right here. Different studies. Okay. They talk about being, again, in an emotional state right here, emotional reaction. Okay. We're going to learn that we are who we are genetically, and then it's modified by what we do with choice, and that's what this is kind of all about. So, a characteristic or trait phenomena would be kind of a genetic part. However, it is modifiable. Okay. Alrighty. And so again, they just kind of go through the different definitions, and I'm not going to read this for you. It's a real quick read. You go ahead and do that. Okay. And then we get into the link between gratitude and well-being. Okay. So well-being is the brain. Okay. Your cognitive well-being, your psychological well-being. What does gratitude do in terms of whether or not you're going to be clinically depressed? And we know that clinical depression then has a cascade of things that are then linked to your physical health from the neck down, from your mind-body connection. We know about cortisol and stress, and we know about heart disease and immune dysfunction. Okay, and you guys are all experts in this stuff. Okay, so they go into this right here. Again, I'm not going to read this for you, but I just want to set you up. A good scientist, okay, just like you guys, a couple of you did this, talk about the limitations that are out there in the study. And this is, letting the reader know that that there is some conflict right here, and that's okay. And so then they get into the study design, which is really cool. So this is called the Likert analysis, okay? So it's a qualitative study that you can then quantify, which is kind of cool, all right, in terms of statistical analysis. And when you do the study, you see I have so much in life to be thankful for, okay? Then I have my list is so long, it would be impossible to write up, okay? And then you put out the opposing viewpoint, and you see whether or not how the subject scores. Like if I put a 7 here and a 7 here, then I probably would not put a 7 here when I say I don't see much to be grateful for in the world. Okay? Alrighty. I particularly like this one because I am getting older. I'm at the ripe age of 63. And I have begun to appreciate the people, events, and situations that are part of your life history. Right? Can you happily reminisce? Okay? Can you be nostalgic? That's awesome. And I think all of us can. Alrighty. A little bit about how the scoring is done, about how to interpret the statistics, okay? And then this second table right here is steps that can be taken then, okay, advice in terms of making sure that people do show gratitude. Alrighty. So that's what this is all about. Pretty short article. Pretty cool, okay? Then we have right here, Psychology Today. Okay, and we can look at the proven benefits of gratitude. Okay, it's a blog and it's awesome. Okay, we talked a lot about sociality. Remember, that was one of the first interventions that we talked about, and what that does to your stress response. Who are the healthiest, long-lived people in the world? Those people that are social, and it's not the quantity, it's the quality of your relationships. Okay. Alrighty. And gratitude opens the door to have more quality relationships. All right. It improves your physical health. We know why. Why would that be? All right. Stress, cortisol. Okay. Boom, boom, boom. All right. Cortisol, heart disease. Okay. All right. It affects diabetes. Right. It affects immune function. Boom, boom, boom. Everything you guys understand. Your mental well-being. Okay. It's going to reduce your clinical depression. Very, very important, which then has a direct link to other aspects of your overall physiology. Alrighty, so very cool article, and again short. All right, that's why you need to be grateful. All right, this is another great website, UC Davis. Okay, there's a lot that's out there, and again, it talks about it as medical practice. Okay, so you can become an expert in this stuff and become part of a healthcare team at any giant medical center, any medical center that is in your neighborhood. We've talked about music therapy programs. This is just no different. It's a form of cognitive behavioral therapy where you train people to become more grateful. And studies show when we do this that all the readouts of vascular disease. Okay, so we talk right here about the LDL and the HDL. HDL makes me happy. LDL is lousy. Okay, these are the protein complexes that carry triglycerides and cholesterol all throughout your body. We know that LDL is an indicator for creating massive atherosclerotic plaques that lead to heart disease and stroke, whereas HDL scrubs your arteries clean. Okay, we see that being grateful will lower your blood pressure. Okay, which is awesome. Okay, it improves immune function. They talk a little about toxic emotions. Okay, that can destroy happiness. All right, and we know that will then take us back to what this class is all about, and that is reducing stress. All right, and when you do reduce your stress in terms of how you think, you're going to reduce your levels of cortisol. Okay, which is going to improve inflammation. Okay, we already talked about earlier about the markers of your cardiovascular function that get improved. Okay, and we just go down, 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 down. Everything is just dramatically improved when we look at people that are grateful. Right here, this is the readout of diabetes. Okay, hemoglobin A1C, again approved by being grateful, and again it's linked to what we see up here. Right? So now you guys can read this kind of article, read this kind of website, and be totally on board with what it all means. Okay. All right. So this is a great video, okay, about happiness. It is a set of guidelines. Everybody has their own pathway. Just remember that. But it is interesting what the speaker has to talk about in this particular case, and the balance between genetics. On the surface, I'm, good time Charlie. I'm happy to be around. People want to be around me, but I do have a lot of stress because of genetically. I'm this simmering inferno of worry, and it's part of my genetics. My two brothers are like this, and my dad was this way as well. All right, so you can't deny your genetics. Roughly 40-50% of your ability to appreciate and have gratitude and be happy is genetics. Okay, are you neurotic? Okay, are you gregarious? All these different types of psychological features. All right, he does talk about in his instructions what you can control. Not to be egotistical and greedy and seek these big achievements, but to kind of spread it out over familiar places like your community and being supportive of your community. All right, your family. When I talk family, I talk about those people that are most important to you. It doesn't have to be genetics. I call it my logical family. I'm much closer to my family of friends than to my real family, and that's okay. My boys, my wife, that's a different story. But when I talk about my siblings and stuff like that, so sometimes you move apart, and that's okay. Dalai Lama gives us a great guide to happiness. Okay, and again, he talks about wealth and things and ego, and how we need to be more trusting and less fearful. And he talks about being very heartfelt in terms of our pursuits. And I think it's really, really important because fear is what? Fear, the A in fear, the A in anger, the A in rage, the A in amygdala. And we know this is the fight or flight response that causes lots of problems, okay? Whereas when we talk about trust, there are thousands of studies looking at trust and trustworthiness. And this is part of the connection to love, and it's the molecule oxytocin. And oxytocin gets released into the brain. It causes growth of your prefrontal cortex. It allows you to override the stress response. That's what oxytocin will do. There's my beautiful wife, Julia. And it increases a feeling of goodness, okay, by the releasing dopamine. All right, you can go right through here, all right? And these are real fun ways to relieve your stress, many of which we have already talked about in this class. Okay. From there, then, you come over here to our discussion, and this will be your last discussion. Okay. And what we ask you to do is to get in there, okay, and go over this concept of gratitude and well-being and stress, okay, and then I want you to introduce how you're going to introduce gratitude and happiness into your training of your clients, okay, the kind of practices that you might lay out, and how do you rank yourself with respect to gratitude and happiness? Are you pretty good, not so good, very poor, and what steps you might take to improve your overall situation? Okay, now I'll finish this up. I'll give you a little storyline again about me, myself, and Julia. And so I've been asked to give talks at USC a couple times, large audiences. They have this program for undergraduate students, and they fill the auditorium. And the question is, what matters to me and why? And people think that I'm going to get up there, that pushing back the frontiers of science, my contribution to the overall knowledge base, all the science that I did. And yes, I feel proud of that. And I'm very glad that I have contributed and improved maybe the lives of people that have Parkinson's disease through our research into the molecular mechanism as to why exercise improves the trajectory of patients with Parkinson's disease. But that's not what I live for. I live for that. Okay. All right. So what do I live for? Okay. I'll be honest with you. I live to be happy, and I seek things that give me great pleasure. You know, part of that is serving. It's the exercise, it's the dopamine rush, it's the adrenaline rush, and it's also the community of people that I've known surfing, that I still surf together for 40, 50 years. Many of them are new friends that I've known for 4 or 5 years, and it doesn't matter what walk of life they have. Okay. So yes, research has been great. Okay, but surfing is way amazing too. A big part of it is being your educator. Okay, being a professor. I love teaching, and I feel blessed that I have an impact on people's lives in a very positive way, and I feel like I do. Okay, that I have and I get feedback from many students. Maybe some of you someday may email me and say thank you so much for teaching that class because it really did improve my life. Okay, I teach a lot of very serious pre-med courses, and I get many emails from students thanking me for preparing them to really be accelerated when they enter medical school. So yes, you guys give me great happiness, and I'm very grateful for the opportunity to be your instructor. Okay, but numero uno, I love my kids too, but numero uno is my life with my wife Julia, and we've been together for 37 years. I call her a couple times a day if I'm not home. Even when we're at home, I might call her. If we're doing things that are, she's working on the course on one computer, I'm working on the course on another computer. We check in, I'm grateful. I tell her thank you. I tell her I love her. And these are all super important things, okay? So I'll give you a little window of what our relationship is and why I'm so grateful. A big part of it, so this is Julia, when I first, right before I met her, this is actually the year I met her in 1982. She had just turned 20, and I was almost 27. And what I'm doing here, this is out at UT Medical School when we first started dating. This was 3 months after we started dating. We went to Puerto Vallarta together. And you can tell we're kind of in love. All right. Again, this is from Puerto Vallarta, and that was from Puerto Vallarta right there. This is in New Orleans. Okay. And I get such happiness out of looking back at all these photos. This is us at UT early on in our relationship. UT meaning University of Texas Medical School in Houston, Texas. This is when she came out to LA for the first time to meet my parents. This is us in New York City, 1984. That's Julie again in New York City. We moved to UCLA after Houston, and that's 1985. Sorry, got clipped. That's I call it the UCLA days. We were there, and so she did hematology oncology research, which is kind of ironic in that she got leukemia. It's actually the drug that she developed that many cancer patients use worldwide, called Neupogen. So she was on the ground floor developing Neupogen, and so it saved her life. And so she had to do many Neupogen injections. So and that's Julie just having a lot of fun. That's us at a concert, okay, at UCLA. This is her at the bomb shelter at UCLA, if anybody knows that. And this is us in Ireland. And if you can get a feeling, why am I so happy and so grateful? She's an amazing person, so brilliant, so beautiful, and by us, sure, we've had storms. Everybody has relationship storms, but by being able to weather the storms and be supportive and there for each other, we can now look back in time, and I mentioned this earlier, we can reminisce, we can be nostalgic. It's awesome. I look at every one of these life moments and I have nothing but happiness. There's like a little kid there. This is in Ireland, wearing her Mickey Mouse shirt. I gave a talk at Trinity University. This is when Julie was working at HEMONC. This was in France. This is a little city outside of Marseille called Barjol, known for its fountains. And this is that's Julie again at Barjol, and me. And then this is in the Amalfi Coast, a city called Ravello. Amazing. They gave us free cannolis. It was so cool. It was about 1,000-foot drop over the balcony. This is in Siena, right? The same trip we went on. We were in Europe for a couple of weeks. Where is this? This is just outside Florence and Siena, and this is us in San Francisco about right before we got married. Our first apartment together, and you can see her little rock right there. So this is when we were engaged, and this is a trip. I put this there because this is a surfer's dream. So I went to this place in Mexico. It was just Julie and I on the beach. How amazing! So I have beautiful waves. I surfed all day long, and my beautiful wife, and that's it. Just the two of us. This is her. She went to a hotel right before we got married. When she went there with her mom. Again, this is in Palos Verdes where we got married. And yeah, she's an awesomely beautiful wife. There she is again. One of those moments somebody else captured. And this is our honeymoon. Of course, we went to Hawaii, and she was patient with me in my surfing, which was really awesome. And yes, we will be married 32 years this year. This is again our honeymoon. San Francisco again, visiting in New Orleans, and that's where she's from. This is a big crew of my buddies, and Stephanie was born right there. This is us in Carmel, about 5 years after we were married. This is when Julie graduated from law school. I put this up there. She graduated top 2% USC Law School, and that's what hors de coif means. Brilliant attorney. I worked hardcore hours, very stressful for 20 years in a big law firm, and then as managing counsel for the Auto Club. Pretty proud right there of what she's done. We went down to Cabo San Lucas and celebrated after her achievement of graduating law school. This is 3 months after I met Julie. This was 4.5 years later when we got married, and this is 10 years after we'd been together down at Cabo when she went to law school. So she's pretty awesome. Again, these are our trips to Cabo. She is playing in the beach, and that's us down there at Cabo, just having a blast. We then went to Fiji to celebrate going to law school. Just an awesome. This was a big surf trip. It was her present to me. I love this picture because it was a pretty primitive island, and there were no hair dryers there. And Julie has really thick, beautiful hair that she usually used to blow dry, and now she lets be curly. And that was when it was just full from craziness. And then we went to the Fijian for our, after we went to this faraway island, and it was our 6th anniversary. And she actually was able to blow dry her hair. She actually surfs, all right, which is awesome. That's our first child. Anybody that's been married, you know what I'm talking about. You have a dog that you test drive first. And she actually got to be pretty good on her boogie board. It's her birthday. That's our first child. That's our second child. That's actually my first child, Matt, in 1995. And this is when Julie was grinding as an attorney at Pillsbury Madison, Sutro, Lillick, and McCall. It was kind of tough. That's Matt. Very serious there. And that's Julie with his, and that's our 2 nieces. There's Matt again. You can see how fulfilled she is as a mom with Matt. And this is Matt and my mom at St. Clement Pier. And here's Julie, unbeknownst to her. This is at the top of her game as managing counsel for the Automobile Club, and she's pregnant with Dave. And just a shout out to women. How incredible are women? I can't even imagine going through this. And then, working horrible hours, physiologically the drain of being pregnant, and then having this, just, you know, your son ripping your heart out saying, don't go to work. Oh my God. So there she is with Dave. How can you be that beautiful a day after? This is the morning after giving birth to Dave. And this is the old farm in southern Illinois. That was a family farm that was in the family for a couple hundred years. Her family, Matt and Dave. There's Dave at our house. This is Julia at her 40th birthday with the two boys. Again, this is behind, right the hillside behind our house. And this is the school that was below our house that we used to walk to with the boys. There's Dave. Christmas morning. Again, she wakes up and boom, look at her. She's so incredibly beautiful. Okay. Thanksgiving at her mom's house. He passed away last year. And it was really a tough time with Julie because she was close to her mom. Matt and Dave, that's our dog. There's Julia again. Just an awesome mom. She had to step away. She started getting really sick at this point in time. We really didn't know what was going on. So this is when she quit after being an attorney for 20 years. We're up in Mammoth with our dog. New Orleans, okay, in Maui. You guys recognize that. That's Griffith Victoria Observatory. Catalina. My backyard with my mom. This is us having Mai Tais at our favorite spot, San Clemente Pier. It's there again. This is the walk to our boys' school. And this is my family photo, my two brothers, my mom, my two boys, and my wife in San Clemente. And this was our 25th anniversary, which you recognize that photo? That is the announcement photo. And there we are reenacting our marriage. We actually redid our vows up there last year for our 2 years ago for our 30th anniversary. And this is our kitchen, okay, which we are remodeling. And that's Julia, that's the boys again, down in San Clemente. I put this here because this is the elementary school. She raised funds to make the school garden. She also raised funds to buy all computers. In 1 year, she single-handedly raised $100,000 for the elementary school that our sons went to, which is awesome. That's us right before we dropped Matt off to college. And this was a day that was a really tough day. I'd surfed all day because that's what I do. But we went to the hematology oncology department at UC San Diego, and Julie was really sick, and they decided it was time to do the clinical trial. And you can see her kind of deep in thought right there, going, "Oh my God, what does it all mean?" And this is our backyard at Easter, and we still do the Easter egg hunt with the kids. This is us reenacting our honeymoon in Kauai again with the two boys. That's us in the kitchen. This is down by our house. When Julie got diagnosed with cancer, we got her a dog. Pet therapy, baby. And this was actually right before her clinical trial started. So she was diagnosed probably 3 years earlier. And this is the day when we were starting the clinical trial. And this is us eating lunch. Again, this is all around the time of the clinical trial with Bella, our new dog. This is Julie and I sitting on the beach, having a blast with the dog. And that's Julie at UCSD Morris Cancer Center, right before it was time for her infusion. So, this is the hillsides behind our house. I love this picture. This is me and my two boys, separated by many, many years. Pretty awesome. Anyways, that's it for right now. I thought you guys would appreciate that. I'm grateful for that. I love to reminisce. I love my family, and more than anything, I love my wife. And that's a goal that you should all have, is to be able to have that kind of happiness. Alrighty, you guys take care and stay in touch.